Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into Google's brand new open model family, Gemma. And I mean it when I say you should probably forget everything you think you know about giant one-size-fits-all AI, because we are about to explore a completely different way of thinking, a whole ecosystem of specialized, super efficient intelligence.
And just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about here, take a look at this. This isn't just one model. It is a massive, sprawling ecosystem. We're talking over 200 million downloads, more than 60,000 community variants, and support for over 140 languages. It's this huge collaborative effort, all built around a central, powerful core, with all these specialized models branching off for just about everything you can imagine.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack the core idea behind all of this, the hub-and-spoke strategy. Then, we'll take a look under the hood at the engine driving everything, Gemma 3. After that, we'll take a tour of all the amazing specialized models, and we'll wrap up with a practical guide to help you figure out which one is the right tool for your job.
Okay, first up, let's get our heads around the core philosophy here, which is the hub-and-spoke strategy. This really is a fundamental shift in thinking. It's a move away from having one single, gigantic AI that tries to do everything, and toward a much smarter, more efficient ecosystem.
So at the heart of this strategy, you have Gemma 3. Think of it as the powerful general-purpose hub. Then, branching off from that center, you have all these spokes. These are highly optimized models built for very specific tasks, like coding or healthcare. The best way to think about it is like a master toolkit, right? You've got your powerful, multi-purpose driver, and then a whole set of precision attachments for every single job you might need to do.
And this quote right here, it really just says it all. I mean, why use a massive energy-guzzling model for a relatively simple task when a smaller, specialized one can do it faster, better, and more efficiently? This whole architecture lets developers route different tasks to the perfect tool for the job, giving you this incredible balance of raw power when you need it and amazing on-device efficiency when you don't.
Okay, so now that we get the strategy, let's take a closer look at the core of it all. That central hub, Gemma 3. This is the engine that makes the entire ecosystem roar to life.
All right, let's geek out for a second on the specs. Gemini 3 comes in a whole range of sizes, from a super nimble 1 billion parameter model all the way up to a seriously powerful 27 billion. And those larger models? They've got a massive 128,000 token context window, all built on a classic, solid decoder-only transformer architecture. It's really designed for both scalability and raw power.
And that power is no joke, seriously. As you can see from this performance chart, the 27 billion parameter model is right up there, performing comparably to the much larger Gemini 1.5 Pro. So the big takeaway here is that even with this new, hyper-efficient architecture, the core hub is an absolute powerhouse.
But here's the real kicker. It's not just powerful, it is unbelievably efficient. Using this technique called quantization-aware training, or QAT, they've managed a 4 times reduction in VRAM usage. What that means in the real world is that the 27B model can actually run on a consumer-grade NVIDIA RTX 3090. And on your phone, get this, the tiny 270 million parameter micro model that routes tasks used less than 1% of a Pixel 9 Pro's battery after 25 full conversations. That's just insane.
All right, so we've seen the power and the crazy efficiency of the Gemini 3 core. Now let's go on that tour of the specialized spokes. Each one of these is purpose-built to be a master at a very specific set of tasks.
We'll start with Gemma 3, the mobile-first architecture. It's designed from the ground up for on-device performance, with all these clever tricks like shared parameters to save space and dynamically activating what it needs based on your device. And it's not just text. It can handle images, audio, and even 60 frames per second video input right there on Pixel devices.
Now, what if the AI needs to actually see and understand the world around it? Well, that's a job for PolyGemma 2. This is the vision language specialist, and as you can tell from the chart, it's not just good, it's literally state-of-the-art. It's fine-tuned for incredibly tough tasks like reading really dense text, understanding complex documents, and precisely identifying objects inside an image. For all the developers out there, there's CodeGemma. And this is so cool, it's not just about predicting the next line of code. Its standout feature is something called fill in the middle, which can intelligently complete code even when your cursor is right smack in the middle of a function. It's a massive time saver for anyone who writes code for a living.
So just as it helps developers speak the language of computers, this ecosystem is also breaking down human language barriers. You've got TranslateGemma, which delivers really high-quality text translation across dozens of languages. And then there's ShieldGemma, which is just incredible. It offers real-time American Sign Language to English translation running entirely on-device with less than 200 milliseconds of latency. That's a game changer.
Moving into the critical field of medicine, we have MedGemma 1.5. The workflow is pretty straightforward. A medical image, like a chest X-ray or a CT scan, gets fed into the model. The model then analyzes it, and what it outputs is a generated findings report. It's already showing some really impressive accuracy in understanding complex medical data.
Now, this is a really crucial point, and it's great to see this level of transparency. MedGemma is right now a research model. It is not clinical grade, and it absolutely requires human oversight. This really highlights the responsible and careful approach they're taking with AI in such a sensitive and important domain.
So how do we get these models to actually do things in the real world? Well, that's where FunctionGemma comes in. It's designed to be the bridge between a natural language command, like you saying, plant sunflowers in row 1, and an executable command that an app or a robot can actually understand. This is the engine that's going to power the next wave of powerful AI agents.
And for those times when you need to search through your own private documents, there's EmbeddingGemma. It's a beast at creating what are called embeddings, which is basically a fancy way of saying it turns your documents into a numerical format that the AI can instantly search and understand. This lets you do powerful Q&A over your own data, completely offline and on-device, keeping everything private.
Here you can see two highly specialized architectures. On the left, you've got VaultGemma, which is built for privacy from the ground up. It uses a technique called differential privacy to literally guarantee that it can't memorize any sensitive training data. And on the right, you have RecurrentGemma, which is built to handle an infinite stream of data, like server logs, without its memory usage ever growing. Two very different problems, two very specialized solutions.
And of course, with all this power comes the need for safety and transparency. So ShieldGemma 2 acts as a security guard. It's a safety classifier that detects harmful content across both text and images. And at the same time, Gemma Scope 2 is like an open toolkit that lets developers look inside the model's brain to debug it and trace its reasoning. It's all about building trust.
Okay, that was a bit of a whirlwind tour, right? So how do you actually put all of this together and use it? This final section is your practical guide, your architect's handbook for choosing and deploying the right Gemma model for whatever you're building.
And this table right here is basically your cheat sheet for the entire ecosystem. It makes it so simple. If you need general reasoning on a server, you start with Gemma 3. If you're building for a mobile device, that's Gemma 3N. Need a coding assistant or have to guarantee data privacy? Yep, there's a specialized model just for that. It's a super clear guide for navigating this whole ecosystem based on what you actually need to do.
And getting started is really flexible. You can deploy these models in the cloud, on a device, or even locally on your own machine. And there's native fine-tuning support in all the major frameworks like Keras, JAX, and PyTorch. And the roadmap for 2026? It's looking really exciting, with plans for native video understanding in Gemma 4, bidirectional translation for ShieldGemma, and even MedGemma entering clinical trials.
And so that brings us here. We've seen this incredible shift away from one-size-fits-all AI to this powerful, efficient, and diverse toolkit of models that are more accessible than ever before. It's not just about raw power anymore. It's about having the right tool for the job, which really just leaves one last question for you. With AI this specialized and this accessible, what problem are you going to solve first?